I'm restarting my agency and scaling it from $0 to $84,000 a month and documenting the entire process for you guys to see. Right? Now in this first video, there's only 3 things that matter. Number 1 is offer, appointments, and sales. That's all you need in your first week to set up an agency, get it running, start making money, right? Everything else is bullshit. And so in this video, I'm gonna be showing you how I'm gonna do it over this first week, building out the business, setting up the systems. I'm even gonna show you guys the exact offer we have, the exact cold calling scripts, exact closing scripts, absolutely everything, just pulling back the curtains so that you guys can copy and paste it into your business. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name's Contreras. I went from being a druggie to scaling an agency to $36,000 a month as a 16-year-old, launching a software company, leadsinger.com, and now starting this project to scale a real estate agency to 7 figures, otherwise known as $84,000 a month, right? So with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, boys, so the first couple of days in the week was just a little frustrating, a little repetitive, just doing market research, trying to find the problems in the industry that we could solve, right? The way that I like to do that, I don't look through Facebook groups or online. That's BS, right? I just pick up the phone, dial them. Don't pitch them. Don't do anything like that. Don't try to sell them. Just be genuine and ask about their problems, right? And you have to be a little bit smart about how you go about this, right? And over these next couple of days, we were able to kind of build out an offer that I thought would do extremely well, right? I'm not going to read out the whole thing, but I will show you guys the whole thing. So you can pause it and check it out if you like, right? And kind of moving over to the next slide over here of kind of how it works. I just drew this out, right? And so we focus on not being a commodity and not appearing like everyone else, because that's the only way you're able to sell an offer for 9 or 10K is when people see that you're different than everybody, you provide more value than everybody, and you're better than everybody, right? One of the big things that we do in order to achieve that you can start doing now is selling an infrastructure, right? Which is a system we build out over the course of 3 months, but then we hand it all to them. We're like, yo, you have this, you can use it to get clients forever. Right? Because if it only adds them a single client per year, but they get it forever, and they're in the business for another 20 years, that's 20 extra clients, which is probably more, and it means more to them than what you're charging, right? It kind of depends the industry, but you get the idea, right? And so the best way for us to do that is to build out a problem analysis mechanism to show on sales calls and in our VSL to show that we're not a commodity, right? And this basically is every problem that an agent could have scaling to a really big number. A huge amount of deals, right? And so we list out every failure scenario, every problem that they could have, right? We list them all out and then we write solutions for all of them that we can implement, right? And so if we're able to build all this stuff out and we're able to show this, and this isn't even the whole list, it cuts off right here. This is like half of it, right? But if you're able to show them this on a sales call or in a VSL, you can show, yo, we're not just running ads, we're not just doing this, we're different than everybody else, right? We solve all of these problems that every agent experiences. And when you frame it like that, you seem different than the rest of the thousands of people DMing them and all those little kids just hitting them up every day, right? You seem more serious. You seem like you mean business, right? And then after that, this is the upfront, right? So we charge 9K upfront, but then after that, there is no business without continuity, right? And so you need continuity. So the way that we do that in the back end is after we set up the system, we basically offer them somebody for $1,500 a month to run the entire system, the entire infrastructure that we built out so that they don't have to spend a single second on it, right? They just get clients flowing in consistently, right? So we charge $1,500 a month. The numbers break down to us making $850 a month profit off of that per client for however long they decide to keep that person that we bring in. And we literally do nothing. We just hire someone in and passively it's $850 a month per person profit. Right? So again, going back to this offer, you can kind of see what we're doing. This is the front end delivery. And then this is the continuity program in the back end, right? This is our ideal client, our USP, and which is basically unique selling point, how we stand out and seem different. Okay, so now we've covered offer and the next step is appointments. You need to generate sales calls to sell your product, to sell your service. But there's one thing everybody gets wrong about it, and I'm about to show you. Right? So imagine this is cold calling, this is cold DMing, this is outbound, all that high volume type of tactics, right? And it only has one purpose, to refine a sales process to sell your product, right? This is where everybody goes wrong, because after you have this sales process, you can start running ads, right? And in the second week of this journey that I'm going to be showing you guys, pulling back the curtain, showing you guys funnel ads, everything to convert the ad spend into dollar signs, right? And so that's all you need. And people get that wrong and they get stuck on this process right here. But I'm going to show you how to get out of that. So that's a little nugget. But with that being said, let's get into it. Now let me break down the cold calling script that we're using and show you how to build one, because this only took me a single day to make. I did it on Thursday and it's going to serve me forever now. Right? And so I'll teach you the framework of how it works so that you can plug and play it into your own agency and be able to do that forever for any agency that you start, right? So getting into it, number one, you need an intro, right? The one that we use is, you're probably going to hate me for this, but this is a cold call. Would you like to hang up now or give me 28 seconds, right? So very simple, very simplistic, very straightforward. They're like, yeah, sure. And then you do a what we do statement. So here you're basically like, you know how niche struggles with problem. So what we do is solve that without pain point, right? Without common mechanism that they hate. So for example, agents hate people that are talking about ads or SEO. And so we specifically say without ads or SEO, right? Makes sense. Now I came across your business, wasn't sure if this would be for you, but I'm curious, how long have you been in the industry, right? So here you're just sparking conversation. You're getting a conversation going. Because if it's just a one-way monologue, like you're just screwed. You're never going to make any money, right? Then after that, you ask situation questions. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because I want to keep it short, condensed, high value. But here you can read it on your own, right? And so you find their situation, etc. Then you find their problem, right? And at the end of this stage, you should come out with a tangible problem or thing that they would fix about what they're doing, right? And then you find the impact of that thing, right? And then you future pace. Okay, you basically find if you could solve that, would it be good for them, right? How much would it mean to them, right? And so that's all you do. And then you just book the meeting. There you go. Now you have a sales call, right? And so that's a very short explanation of the script. If you want, you can pause it. You can go back to the script and kind of review the exact wording, etc., right? And then after booking a meeting, just to keep you in the loop, right after this, send over a 5-minute video breaking down more in depth who we are and what we do, right? And so this is where you have to record a sales video, a VSL, explaining who you are, what you do, who you help, and just getting people hyped up for your stuff, dude. Like you need people excited. You need energy bouncing around, right? So here you just talk about what you're going to do to kind of fill them in on what's going to happen right after that call. And then you just book them in. Then you take the sales call. And the most important thing is after this, you need to train on the script. You need to learn the tonality, learn how to use it properly, or train your team. So right now I'll play some clips of me training my team, showing how to use this so that you can use it effectively. And again, copy and paste, replicate this into your business. And at the end, I'm going to be giving you guys a doc with all these scripts, all these docs of everything that I'm using in my business and kind of breaking down a step-by-step of what you can do to set up your own agency for success in a single week, just like I did. So with that being said, let's get into some training clips of me and my team.
Would you like to hang up now or give me 28 seconds?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Awesome. Now, you know how I came across your business, Andres, and I wasn't sure if this would be for you. Well, I'm curious, like, how long have you been in the industry for?
Like 15 years, 15, 16 years. I've been in for a while.
Awesome. So I guess you've had the time to find your groove. Like, what are you doing now to expand the business and grow?
Okay, so now we have appointments flowing in and there's only one last piece of the puzzle to put into place, and it's sales, right? And so I spent the last couple of days from this week building SOPs, building a good sales script. And one thing that's super important that everybody gets wrong is that when you're training your team, the most efficient thing, the most important thing isn't for them to memorize the words or for them to memorize the entire script by heart. It's for them to understand it. And so an assignment that I make everybody do and that I do myself when building a new script is once I write all the questions down, I put 2 sentences explaining why I put each question individually, right? So for each question, I put 2 sentences explaining the purpose of it, right? Because once you know why you're doing it, then you can change the wording around, you can change the questions around, and you'll still be able to get the same outcome, which is a closed deal and $9,000 in my bank account, right? So with that being said, let's get into the closing script and a little bit of the training. Okay, so now I'm going to go over the closing script and all this other fancy stuff to make you a bunch of money, right? But first of all, I have to give credit where credit is due. And so these are the 2 guys I learned sales from the most, right? Number 1, Jeremy Miner. He has a background in human psychology, and so he really understands sales at a very deep level. And then number 2, Eli Wild. Not as many people know about him, but he's regarded to have the most coaching, consulting, and agency sales out of anybody on the planet, right? He's extremely good, over $130 million in sales, not from his company, from him himself. And so he understands it very well. I've learned a ton from him. But anyways, going back into the script and kind of how it works. So first, let's just understand the framework. I'm not going to go through every question. I don't have time to do that. I'll go through each stage and kind of how it works. So number one, connection stage. This is where you figure out, why are they on the call? Why are they on the call? Why is it important to them? What are they looking to get out of it, right? Number two, situation stage. This is where you expand more on whatever reason they're on the call and you find a problem, right? Problem awareness stage, you find what impact does that problem have on them and on their business, right? What does it really do to them? Solution awareness stage is where you figure out what have they tried in the past to solve that problem and to get XYZ result, right? What have they tried in the past? So that's this part. And then the second part of that stage is, what's their goal? What's the outcome? What do they really want, right? What's their goal? And so after that, you kind of tear them away from that. Once they're at that high of like, I want this, I want that, I want that, you tear it away from them in the consequence question stage, right? So now you're like, well, okay, John, but like ego aside, bullshit aside, just be real with me for a second. With exactly what you're doing now and the current amount of opportunities you're getting, span it out over the next 12 months. How close are you to hitting XYZ goal, right? And then after that, you find the ramifications, like what happens if they don't change? If they keep the problems, they stay exactly where they're at, what happens then? What does that mean to them, right? And then commitment stage, okay, like why is this important to you now though? Whose decision is it if you change? Obviously it's theirs, right? And then after that you pitch. This is standard transition. This is one thing I do very differently than everybody else that I think is extremely cool. And I'll show you right now. So number one, it's a Google Doc pitch. This is where in a Google Doc, you write down your main 3 pillars of what you do. And then during the call, you're taking notes on everything they tell you, all the answers they give you, right? And then you kind of assimilate it and you're like, okay, well, this is what we do. These are your problems. Do you see how this might be able to help you get there? To help you solve those problems and get to XYZ goal? Yeah, I do. Cool. And then the second part about this is problem analysis. So this goes back to this thing that I was showing you guys. You show them every problem that an agent will, whatever niche you're in. For us, it's a real estate agent, right? Whatever niche you're in, show them every problem they could have. And you're like, okay, so you have this problem, check. You have this problem, check. This problem, check. And you just check them all off. And then here you have all these solutions to those problems, right? And so you run through all the solutions to those problems. And then you're basically like, do you feel this could help you with whatever problem they have with XYZ problem to help you get to XYZ goal? Why do you feel like it would though, right? And then here you're basically asked for the money for the investment. And then from there you proceed, you handle objections if they give any. I have another video where I handle objections on my channel. And by the way, guys, all this stuff, I'm gonna be posting it in this doc right here, sharing it in the description below. This is basically every stage that you need to do step by step to set up a successful agency and how I did it for mine, right? And so here I link all the docs, link everything. Everybody has access to it, so you can go check that out if you like. But yeah, that's basically a general breakdown of every stage, how it works. Now you can plug and play this for yourself, run through this, figure out why you're asking every question. Figure out why you're asking them. Don't just ask them blindly. Figure out why, right? But with that being said, that's the last stage of this. Next week, we're going to go over more in depth the second week of how I'm going to scale this agency, right? And now assuming everything goes right, I'm able to train my team, solidify the sales process. From there, we're probably going to start running ads next week. Just dump money in there, get money out, scale this thing to $84,000 a month and show you guys the exact process of how we do it, pulling the curtains back, funnel, ads, absolutely everything, right? And so if you're enjoying this, I'm just trying to give as much value as I can in as little time as possible. So if you're enjoying this, right, drop me a subscribe, like this video, whatever. I'm new to YouTube. Just do whatever the hell you want, right? And that way you can watch how I'm doing this and you can copy and paste it into your own business, right? So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll see you guys next week. Let's scale the hell out of this thing, guys, and stay blessed.